Well, I met Tracy my junior year in high school when he came in to work with our color guard.
He's so different when it comes to color guard. It's just a different outlook and a different way of teaching.
It's a whole different world.
The way Tracy teaches and the way he helps us learn our parts, it's changed how I feel about color guard.
He's so smart. He understands color guard way better than anyone I've ever met in my life.
We put all of our trust into Tracy's mind, so I knew if I was going to march this group, I had to buy in 100%.
He keeps the guard going and he keeps the guard relaxed.
It's just something that you have to witness firsthand to understand how different and amazing it is.
Really strong guys, very strong all the way through. All the things are happening. Clarity of this 6 was really super nice and good recovery in order to get back in. Your energy today looks great. It really does. Is it show day energy? I hope it's regular. Let's go on from here. I'm Tracy Wooton, director of Invictus, and right now we're at the Southwest Power Regional. We're getting ready for prelims. We've been rehearsing the water that we're using in our production, and plus prepping them for show day, getting them warmed up, going over our show, all the normal things. You're not making eye contact where it belongs. You're just kind of looking toward the front. It has to be very specific, and it's got to be the same spot.
The Denton Super Regional is the last Super Regional before Dayton. It's pretty important because this is the last WGI score that we're going to get. It's basically our last impression before our last impression.
You're kind of throwing a bunch of water on the floor, but I like it.
This is the first time we're debuting the water to an audience. We have been in practice with it. We wanted to make sure that they felt comfortable, and that's the absolute utmost importance to us before the actual design. Make sure the performers can feel good about what they're doing and really max out their show.
And they wanted to do it how nobody's ever done it before, and they want to do it so nobody can figure out how we did it, and so people are surprised.
I'd never seen a show try to do this with water and try to do this level of color guard with this type of prop.
It's been really fun. It's been hard.
So here's the deal, and we've talked about this a lot. Sometimes you have to feel like you're putting in more than you normally do to get it back to your regular. Does that make sense? Yes. So it feels a certain way, and some days it's easy, and some days you got to really draw it out. But the energy that you're actually applying, if you can measure, it's the same. So when we start to back off a little bit, you've got to make a very clear choice on, did I consciously back off? Or did it feel regular and it's not working? Because if that's the case, you got to put more into it than what it feels like today, and then you'll get back to your regular. Well, I preach be regular because every time that they run apart a chunk of phrase, I expect them to do it full out. I don't want them doing run-throughs or performances differently than what we rehearse. You can feel emotion and you can understand performance in a rehearsal setting. We know that when we get in front of people, it's going to be different. There's no way around that. But is getting that back to the way that we normally do it is very calming for the performer. That's why they can be alive on the floor and free thinking, and that's the kind of performer that's fun to watch. When I'm teaching, I look at everything from the perspective of the performer. What does that kid need to hear? What does that kid need to do next? It could be 1,000 different reasons. That's the kind of information that I give them. Every kid in color guard shows up with really good intentions to do well. Now, when you're teaching and you can look at a kid doing something wrong and you know exactly what they need to do next, there's no frustration. I try to keep everything right in the middle. The bad things aren't that bad, the good things aren't that great. As a director, that's my job. and it helps them find their center and for them to be comfortable through the rehearsal. The kids have good intentions and they want to be really good. And if you can actually help them develop that and motivate them, they'll work very, very, very hard. That's how I've always approached it, and that's how I always will. I started at Northmont at the age of 18. Took over as head instructor, doing the choreography, doing the teching, writing the drill, doing the soundtrack, and basically doing it as a one-man show. Once I took over as complete director of the program in 1994, I was able to control budget, facilities, everything that we needed, recruit the right sort of members. In 94, we made world-class finals. In 1995, I was able to bring on staff people to help design and do choreography. In 96, we were 4th in finals and 3rd in prelims. The next year, we did Dante's Inferno.
Northmont High School, you may take the floor for competition.
At that point, we really didn't care about the competitive thing, but we did know that what we could do as a staff was make everybody in the country think that we were completely out of our mind, and that's what we did. We had the high school girls walking around signing autographs like little rock stars. We had 70 on a prop crew, which included school board members, included administration from the high school, parents, everybody supporting the program. It was a lot of fun.
You can put the bag down when you finish this. It is gymnast chalk, and it turns our skin white so that it looks like we're stone. And so then whenever the water hits it, it washes away, and that's what brings us to life.
And you just apply the chalk?
Yeah.
Did anybody bring their beauty blender?
The whole floor is a marble floor, and that's kind of the set that we have. It's Grecian fountains and statues. This is something that we needed to have their skin look more stone, but it had to be able to come off and be water soluble because they're going to get wet. We didn't want it to stick like paint, so this was the easiest, quickest way to do it. So you'll see in the first couple of minutes they're all drenched and all clear and all alive, so by that point they are no longer stone.
How do you know when the chalk is ready?
When you can't see
Casey's.
when you can't see your face.
When they look like him, like stone. Every performer wants a performance to feel exactly like rehearsal. If you can actually have a performer that can actually perform with the same calmness and intensity that they do when nobody's watching, then you've got something amazing. And the challenge is getting every kid there. Everybody's got a job to do for each other. And the minute you put that motivation of performing for the rest of the group, it takes away a lot of that pressure off the person. That's the dream of every performer in Winter Guard, is to be able to do that. At this point, we're building something. We're not trying to just produce success. It's the difference between, are we buying trees or are we planting seeds? I don't ever look at Color Guard and say, here's the model for a program. Everybody's got to fit within my model. I allow things to develop naturally. I give ownership to the program, to the performers right off the bat, and let them know that this is their rehearsal, it's not mine. I'm there to help them do the show really well. I'm there to provide them with the tools and the things that they need to become a really good performer. The staff is working very hard to give them the best show that they possibly can. But it's those performers on the floor that are actually competing. It's not us. They're the ones actually making everything happen. It's their program. It's not ours. Cool, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out there, we're going to man our props, and we're going to get ready. We're going to set a record again, but we're going to do everything properly. I am going to try to start the water earlier, so you've just got to be thinking on your feet. The minute that we leave here and we go down there, we are on the job. We're not going to soak in the moment. You're going to be aware of the water. You're going to be aware of your feet. You're going to do everything safe. You're going to be free, smart thinkers when you're out there on the floor. Don't let the water distract you, but at the same time, be aware of it.
Performing their program, Pure, WGI Sport of the Arts is proud to present Invictus.
Performance today felt almost exactly like it usually does during rehearsal. We've been trained to practice like how we perform, and everything feels so comfortable that when I'm going out there, I sometimes forget that the audience is even there.
It went incredible. They had a great equipment warm-up. They set everything up properly, and everything that they just did in the performance looked exactly like it does at rehearsal. So that's a great performance. I think the performance is more than just the emotional thing. I think that's certainly a big part of it, but it also includes catching your equipment, spinning together, and it's all about the way that they approach it. It's staying involved in the moment and making each moment as they go through important. Everybody come here real quick. Cool. Let's do a round of knuckles.
Yes.
Knuckles, I want them all. I want all the knuckles. I want all the knuckles. All the knuckles. I want all the knuckles. That was incredible. That's performance. That was spot on, everything, beginning of the show all the way through. Starting an organization off ground, just to exist and to be able to do this thing, it's only going to get easier.
We never care about the scores. It's never about the score or what other people think of us or what the judges thought of our performance. It's about us.
Whatever we put out on the floor, as long as we do our best and know that like we had a good run, it doesn't matter what we got, it doesn't matter what penalties we got, it doesn't even really matter what the judges or audience thinks that we did.
At the end of the day, the number doesn't define what we do, it's how you felt, and if you did your best and you come off the floor with no regrets and you come out of the season with no regrets, then no number is ever gonna tell you any different.
It's not about the point or the placement or the score. To them, to me, and it never will be. They're working on that goal to be able to master that show, to do it in front of people, and in the meantime have a great experience making memories and friendships that last a lifetime.
Invictus 1, Invictus 2, Invictus 3, regular.
That's color guard.